Princess Catherine steals the spotlight in a show-stopping gown at royal appearances. Princess Catherine's royal appearances aren't just about beautiful gowns, they're carefully timed statements. At the royal variety performance, her fashion choices over the years reveal a quiet shift from restraint to authority. This isn't about fashion trends or red carpet glamour. It's about how fabric, silhouette, and restraint have been used to command attention without ever demanding it. In these show-stopping appearances, Princess Catherine doesn't just wear gowns, she uses them to define how she is seen. Her first appearance at the Royal Variety performance in 2014 was, in many ways, a study in careful restraint. Still newly settled into her role as Princess of Wales, Princess Catherine chose a black lace gown by Diane von Furstenberg, an elegant, internationally respected designer, but not one associated with risk. The gown featured sheer sleeves, a fitted bodice, and a flowing skirt. Lace, a fabric long associated with royal evening wear, offered visual interest without excess. Nothing about the silhouette demanded attention. Instead, it was reassuring. At that stage, Catherine was still navigating an invisible boundary, learning where personal expression ended and institutional expectation began. Every choice felt deliberate, almost protective. The styling reflected a woman acutely aware that fashion, for her, was no longer just personal taste but public language. Respectful, composed, and intentionally understated, the look signaled caution rather than confidence. If you enjoy this kind of thoughtful analysis where clothing is read as communication, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. By 2017, a subtle shift had begun to surface. That year, Princess Catherine appeared in an ice blue Jenny Packham gown crafted from sheer tulle and lightly embellished with crystals. The effect was noticeably softer, less guarded, more fluid. The fabric caught the light gently rather than dramatically, creating movement without spectacle. It felt seasonal, winter-appropriate, and intentionally serene. Paired with heirloom diamond jewelry, the look emphasized continuity and tradition rather than novelty. Importantly, this wasn't a break from royal convention. It was a refinement within it. Catherine remained firmly inside established boundaries, but the rigidity had eased. The message was no longer just reassurance, it was quiet confidence. She was becoming more comfortable occupying the space she had once approached with caution. The shift became more visible in 2019. Wearing a black Alexander McQueen gown with a contrasting lace overlay and a sweetheart neckline, Princess Catherine gently tested the limits of her established fashion language. The sweetheart neckline, rare for her, introduced a note of femininity that felt intentional rather than accidental. Beneath the romantic lace sat a structured underlay, adding architectural strength to the silhouette. It was a carefully balanced statement, soft on the surface, strong at the core. The gown remained formal, it remained royal, but it was undeniably more fashion-forward. This wasn't about seeking attention, it was about redefining presence. Catherine was beginning to shape the conversation rather than simply respond to it. That evolution reached a defining moment in 2021. Returning once again to Jenny Packham, Princess Catherine appeared in a fully sequined emerald green gown, an unmistakable departure from the muted palette of previous years. The dense sequin fabric amplified every flash of light, transforming her arrival into a visual event rather than a quiet entrance. The saturated green color was bold, confident, and impossible to overlook. Combined with softly swept hair and brighter makeup, the styling projected assurance rather than restraint. In my view, this was the turning point. From this moment onward, Princess Catherine was no longer dressing simply to meet expectations. She was dressing with intent. She was prepared to be seen not as a supporting figure, but as a woman fully aware of her visibility, her influence, and her future role. This was no longer fashion as compliance. It was fashion as authority. If this moment stood out to you as much as it did to the rest of the world, make sure you're subscribed because what comes next is refinement, not experimentation. By 2023, the message had become unmistakably clear. Princess Catherine appeared in a sculptural blue gown by Sophia, crafted from structured crepe and defined by strong shoulders and a dramatic cape-style sleeve. Unlike earlier years, where texture or embellishment carried visual interest, this look shifted the focus entirely to form. There were no crystals to catch the light, no intricate lace to soften the outline. Instead, the silhouette itself did the work. The architectural shoulders created presence, the clean lines projected control, minimal decoration allowed authority to speak without distraction. This was fashion stripped back to its most intentional elements. The effect was modern, almost ceremonial, less red carpet, more state occasion. It aligned seamlessly with a princess who was no longer perceived as a supporting figure, but increasingly as a future queen in her own right. In this moment, Catherine wasn't dressing to be admired. She was dressing to be understood. By 2025, the evolution no longer needed explanation. Everything had come together. Princess Catherine arrived in a deep emerald velvet gown by Talbot Runhoff, a fashion house known for clean lines and understated drama. Velvet, long associated with winter formality and regal weight, immediately signaled confidence. This was not a fabric chosen lightly. The off-the-shoulder portrait neckline framed her presence without softness, while the uninterrupted column silhouette created a statuesque, grounded effect. There was no visual noise, no experimentation, just clarity. Styled with velvet heels, a silver clutch, and significant royal diamond jewelry, the ensemble felt assured rather than aspirational. Nothing competed for attention. Every element worked in service of the whole. This was no longer about testing boundaries. It was refinement. More than fashion, a deliberate recalibration. Taken together, these 6 gowns chart more than a fashion timeline. They reveal a deliberate recalibration of public image. Over time, fabrics grew richer, silhouettes became stronger, and the messaging grew unmistakably clear. At the Royal Variety performance, Princess Catherine has consistently used evening wear not as decoration, but as communication. Each appearance signals confidence without confrontation, continuity without stagnation, and authority without spectacle. As her role within the monarchy continues to evolve, this annual red carpet moment remains one of the clearest windows into how she chooses to be seen, not loudly, not impulsively, but with intention. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Looking back at these Royal Variety performance appearances, which gown do you feel best represents Princess Catherine today? Was it the shimmering emerald sequin dress that marked her turning point? The sculptural blue Safia gown that projected quiet authority? Or the refined velvet look she wore most recently, composed, assured, and unmistakably regal? Each tells a different chapter of the same story. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read them all, and your perspective adds to the conversation. And if you enjoy thoughtful, respectful analysis of royal style as symbolism rather than spectacle, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next deep dive into the language of royalty. We'll see you in the next story.